So next I am going to discuss the solutions of the questions numbering from 48 onwards in the assignment in kinematics up to vertical projection. See the question number 48. A body projected vertically upper reaches maximum height h in time t. The time taken to reach half of the maximum height is. So the time taken to reach the maximum height, that is time of ascent, is denoted by t. Can write it as u by g. So time taken to reach half of the maximum height. So you can also write it as in terms of h. The maximum height h can be written as u square by 2g. Or you may write u equal to root of 2gh. You have to find the time after which it reaches half of the maximum height. So let t1 be the time after projection at which it reaches half of the maximum height. And that is equal to h by 2. Or you can write h equal to, you can write u square by 2g. You can express in terms of time t because answer is required in terms of time t. From this equation you can write u equal to gt. S equal to h by 2. And h you can write u square by 2g. And u you can write gt. So half of the maximum height, that will be, here t is the time of ascent or time taken to reach the highest point, u square by g will be gt square by 4. So if you use the, at this instant of time, that's the value of displacement, acceleration, a equal to minus g. You have to find t1. Come on, use the equation s equal to ut plus half at square. Can write a equal to minus g. T equal to t1 here. So you can substitute s equal to here gt square by 4 and u equal to gt from the starting step minus gt1 square by 2. Can divide with g and multiply with 4 here. That means multiply equation with 4 by g. So you get t square is equal to 4t t1 minus 2t1 square. But to find t1 in terms of t here. So 2t1 square plus minus 4t into t1 plus t square equal to 0. So this is a quadratic equation time t1. So we can use the solution of the quadratic equation. You can use the solution of the quadratic equation here. As you must be knowing the solution of the quadratic equation. Or you can also try to solve it by factorization method. You can write minus 4t t1 as minus 2t1 and minus 2t1. So t1 equal to, using the solution of the quadratic equation, x equal to minus b plus r minus under root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. You get 4t plus r minus under root of b square means 16t square minus 4ac. 4 into 2 t square into 2. That is minus 8t square by 2a means 4. This will be, so you get 4t plus r minus root 8t square. That will be 2 root 2 into t by 4. So you can take 2t common outside there. If you want to copy the solution of the problem, you can start copying the solution. You get two values of t1. So the first value of t1 gives you the first instant of time at which the body is at half of the maximum height. And the second value of t gives you the other instant of time at which the body is at the half of the maximum height during descent. That means the smaller value of t gives you the first instant during which the body reaches half of the maximum height during upward motion. The larger value of time t1 gives you the later instant of time. So you get, if you simplify that, the smaller value of t1 if you consider, that will be t by 2 into 2 minus root 2. Or you can write 1 minus 1 by root 2. If you want to know if you consider the larger value of t, larger value of time will get t into 1 plus 1 by root 2. That means the body will be at half of the maximum height for the first time during ascent at the instant t1 equal to t into 1 minus root 2. The body will begin at the same height, means equal to half of the maximum height at the later instant during descent. That is at the instant of time t into 1 plus 1 by root 2. If you want to copy the solution of the problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution problem. You can also solve the problem another way, but I'm not going to discuss the alternate method. You try to do it yourself by the alternate method also. That means instead of expressing h in terms of t square and g, you can write s equal to u square by 4g on the left hand side here. You can write s equal to u square by 4g. And first find t1 in terms of u and g. And in the final step, you can substitute u equal to gt. That way also you can do. See the next question, question number 49. A body is projected vertically upward at t equal to 0 and is seen at a height h at times t1 and t2 seconds during its flight. The maximum height attained is. So in the summary of the conclusions I have discussed before I started discussing the problems in vertical projection, I have discussed the summary of the theory of vertical projection. So in one of the conclusions I have discussed, if the body is suppose found at the same height or at the same point at two instants of time, t equal t1 and t equal t2 respectively after projection, I have given with explanation that time of flight can be written as t1 plus t2. So this conclusion I have discussed in the past with explanation. The body is found at the same point P, or means at the same height above the point of projection at the instant of time t equal t1 seconds, and again at t equal t2 seconds respectively after projection. And the time of flight is given by t1 plus t2. And I have also discussed that the maximum height reached above the point of projection in terms of time of flight is given by gt square by 8. That will be g by 8 into t1 plus t2 whole square. That's the answer for the question. So if you want to copy the solution, you can take pause and copy the solution. But I'd like to discuss the alternate method also. Actually, you need not follow alternate method for objective type of questions, but in case by chance you are given similar problem in board examination, you cannot use this conclusion directly because this result is not given in the regular textbooks. You have to solve some concept, or you have to solve the problem by using the results given in the textbook. So in that case, you can start writing time of flight equal to T1 plus T2. This can be used with simple logic that you can write 2U by G. So you can write U equal to G into T1 plus T2 by 2. Then maximum height reached can be written as U square by 2G. You can substitute U equal to G into T1 plus T2 by 2. If you simplify this, you get the same answer which I discussed by the previous method. If you want to copy the solution of the problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. See the question number 50. A body is thrown vertically upward to reach its maximum height in t seconds. The total time from the time of projection to reach a point at half of its maximum height while returning seconds is. We have already discussed this question in question number 48. Question number 48 already included the solution of this problem. So you can also solve. That means whatever method I have discussed for question number 48, you can follow the same method even for this question. In the question number 48, we got two routes here in the last for the time. And as I told you, the second route that gives you the answer for this 50. That means if you look at the again solution of 48, you can again look at the solution of the 48th question. We got two routes for T1. The first value of T1 is answer for 48. The second value of T1 is answer for question number 50. That means the first value of T1 gives you the time after projection at which it is at half of the maximum height during the upward motion. The other value of T1, the second root of the equation, gives you the time after projection at which it is at half of the maximum height during descent or downward motion. Or otherwise, you can also do the problem by another way. So here you can see the question number 50 again. Body is thrown vertically upward to reach a maximum in t seconds. That means time of ascent U by G is t seconds. So U is numerically equal to G into T. So you have to find the time after projection during descent at which it is found at half of the maximum height during the downward motion. So if you use the formula, maximum height you can write U square by 2G. That means you have to find the value of T. This, let us suppose that T equal to T1. The displacement is equal to half of the maximum height. Let us suppose that the instant of time T equal to T1, displacement is equal to half of the maximum height. That is equal to half of U square by 2G or U square by 4G. Then you can use the formula S equal to ut plus half it square. Then here S equal to U T1 A equal to minus G here. You have to find the values of T1, larger value of T1, after which S becomes equal to U square by 4G. So you have to substitute U S equal to U square by 4G. Into U into T1 minus GT1 square by 2. Multiply this equation with 4G. You get U square minus 4e t1 minus 2g t1 square. So you get 2g t1 square plus minus 4ug plus u square equal to 0. So you can solve this by using the solution of the quadratic equation t1 equal to 4ug t1. This is the quadratic equation time t1 4ug plus or minus under root of b square means 16u square g square minus 4ab, that is 4 into 2g into u square by 2a means 2 into g. So you get two values of t1. The smaller value of t1 represents the time after projection, at which it is at half of the maximum height during upward motion. The larger value of t1, this is the time after projection at which it is found at half of the maximum height while returning. So you have to find the answer, larger value of t1 here. So if you simplify this and considering the larger value of t1 only, you get 4ug plus or minus, this will be root of 16 minus 8 will be 8, 8 can be written as 2 root 2 into u into g by 4g. So we'll consider the larger value here, that means consider only plus sign. So you can take here 2ug common, or divide 2ug, you can take common outside here. You'll get 2 plus root 2. Now you can, starting step, you can have written u by g equal to t, that you can substitute here. So here you get this term g square here. So finally then the denominator get 4u means 4g square here. The denominator also here you should write g square. So you can write here u by g into 2 by 2, you can write 1 plus root 2 by 2. U by g is t here, so t into 1 plus 1 by root 2. So that's the answer. This problem was given one of the previous MCET examinations. In the recent years. If you want to copy the solution of the problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So we have discussed question number 50. Next we see the question number 51. A body projected vertically upwards with a velocity u. It crosses a point in its journey at a height h twice, just after 1 and 7 seconds. The value of u in meter per second is. This question also comes under one of the results I have discussed earlier. As I discussed earlier, the body is suppose projected vertically upwards from a point A with initial velocity u, and P is a point in its path. The body is found at the same point P at the instance of time t equal t1 and t equal t2 seconds respectively. Then time of flight will be given by t1 plus t2. That is, t1 is the time after projection. It passed through point P for the first time during ascent. So t2 is the time after projection. it passes through the point P in the downward direction. So time taken to move from A to the highest point B, and then from B to fall downwards from B to P, that is T2. So T2 is the total time after projection at which it passes through point P in the downward direction. So time taken to move from P to A in the downward direction will be again T1. Time of motion in the downward direction from P to A, the same as the time it has taken earlier to move from A to P, that is T1. So time of flight, you can write T1 plus T2. In this problem, T1 is given as 1 second, T2 is given as 7 seconds. So time of flight will be 8 seconds. So we have time of flight equal to 2u by g. So you can substitute time of flight equal to 8 seconds on the left hand side, and g equal to 10 meter per second square on the right hand side. So if you want to copy the solution of this problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of this problem. To simplify, you get u equal to 40 meter per second. See the next question, number 52. This question number 52 comes under one of the special cases which I have already discussed in the class. The proof of which I have already discussed in one of the special cases. That is, in one of the special cases I have discussed with proof. If one body is suppose projected vertically upwards from the top of a tower, and simultaneously second body is projected vertically downwards with the same initial speed from the top of the tower, then the height of the tower is given by h equal half gt1 t2, and the time taken by third body which falls freely under gravity from the top of the tower is given by root of t1 t2. So this comes under one of special cases I have discussed. But in case you are given this problem in board examination, you cannot directly use the conclusions I have discussed. In case you are given this question or similar question in objective type of papers, that is in entrance examinations, you can directly use the conclusion which I have discussed in one of special cases earlier. So, but in case you are given this problem in board examination, but of course it is least expected to come in board examination, but sometimes exceptionally it may come. Then you have to should also know how you can do it from concept without using the conclusions. So here here you can again see the question. From the tower, stone is thrown up vertically up, which reaches the ground in a time t1. The second stone thrown vertically down with the same speed reaches the ground in a time t2. Third stone released from rest from the same location reaches the ground in a time t3. Then you have to find t3 in terms of t1 and t2 here. For the first body which is projected vertically upwards, initial velocity is directed upwards, but net displacement acceleration are directed downwards. So if you give positive sign for initial velocity in the upward direction, you have to give negative sign for displacement and acceleration in the downward direction. So if you use the equation s equal to ut plus half et square for the first body, you can write minus h equal to ut1 minus half gt1 square. For second body, which is projected vertically downwards, the initial velocity is directed vertically downwards, displacement is also directed vertically downwards, acceleration is also directed vertically downwards. So for second body, all the three vector quantities s, u and a are directed in the same direction. So you can give same sign for all quantities. You can give positive sign for all the three, or you may also give negative sign for all the three. So all negative terms finally becomes positive in the equation. So for second body, you can write h equal to ut2 plus half GT2 square. To find the time taken by the body to reach the ground, you have to find the value of h. So to find the value of h, you have to eliminate the initial velocity u from the first and second equations. To eliminate initial velocity u, you can make the equations of u same in both the equations. Divide the first equation with T1, get minus h by T1 is equal to u minus half GT1. And from second equation, we divide second equation with T2, h by T2 equal to u plus half GT2. To subtract the first this equation from this equation, so you get h by T2 minus of minus h by T1. You can write, will not get square here, u plus half GT2 minus of u minus half GT1. So you get h into 1 by T2 plus 1 by T1 is equal to half G into T1 plus T2. So if you simplify this, you get the same conclusion which I have written in the directly at the top, h equal half G T1 T2. Then for third body which falls freely under gravity, the time taken to reach the ground is given by root of 2h by g. The result which I have discussed already in the past can be used here. Substitute this value of h in terms of T1 and T2. Then you get the other conclusion which I have directly written at the top. So if you want to copy this solution, you can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. See the next question, 53. The ball is thrown vertically upward with a speed of 10 meters per second from the top of a tower, 200 meters high, and another is thrown vertically downwards with the same speed simultaneously. The time difference between them on reaching the ground in seconds, g is taken as 10 meters per second square. Let A be the initial position of the first ball. So second ball is also thrown from same point A. This problem also comes under one of the special cases in vertical projection. Let's see with the position of the final position of one of the balls just before striking the ground. So total time taken by the first ball to reach the ground is equal to time of motion from A to B and back to A, plus time of motion from A to C. Whereas time taken by the second ball to reach the ground is equal to the time of motion from A to C. The magnitude of velocity of the first ball when it returns to the point A will be again equal to u, but direction of the velocity will be directed downwards. That means the velocity of the first ball when it returns to the point A, same as the initial of second ball at A. Therefore, for downward motion from A to C, initial velocity at A in the downward direction is same for both the balls, and event displacement is same for both the balls, and acceleration is same for both the balls. Therefore, time of travel from A to C is same for both the balls. If you subtract second equation from first, you get T1 minus T2 is equal to time taken by the first ball to move from A to B and back to A. So time taken by the first ball to return to the point of projection is given by 2u by g. Here u is given at 10 meters per second, g is 10 meters per second square. So you get the answer as 2 seconds. So next I am going to discuss the question number 54. I have discussed the question number 53. Answer is 2 seconds, third option. See the question number 54 next. See the question number 54. A person standing on the edge of a well throws a stone vertically upwards with an initial velocity 5 meters per second. The stone goes up, comes down, and falls in the well, making a sound. The person hears the sound 3 seconds after throwing. The water is at a depth from the ground given by. Neglect time of travel of sound. Therefore, the 3 seconds given can be taken as the time of motion of the stone under influence of gravity. Let A be the initial position of stone from where it is projected vertically upwards with initial velocity u equal to 5 meters per second. And the time taken by the stone to reach the ground is 3 seconds. Let B be the highest point at which velocity becomes 0. And let C be the final position of stone just before it strikes the water surface. And let H be the depth of water below the top of the well, which you have to find. So for entire motion under influence of gravity from A to B to C, A is the initial position of stone at the beginning of the motion under influence of gravity. C the final position of stone just before it strikes the water surface. So magnitude of the displacement is shortest distance from A to C, which is equal to the depth H of the water below the top of the well. This is the initial position of the ball. Direction of displacement is vertically downwards, but direction of the initial velocity is vertically upwards. So if you give positive sign for the initial velocity in the upward direction, you have to give negative sign for displacement and acceleration, which are directed vertically downwards. So using the equation, you have to find S here, S equal to ut plus half at square. Can write S equal to minus h, u equal to 5 meters per second, t equal to 3 seconds. Acceleration is equal to minus 10 meters per second square, t equal to 3 seconds. So you can simplify this to get the answer. You can start copying the solution if you are interested to copy the solution here. So you get h equal to, after simplification, 30 meters. That's the answer. See the question number 55. A balloon is rising vertically with constant velocity. A stone is dropped from it 6 seconds after it is let go from the ground. If the stone takes 8 seconds to reach the ground for motion under gravity, then the height of the balloon above the ground at the instant when the stone strikes the ground is g 10 meters per second square. So this problem also comes under one of the special cases in vertical projection. Let h denote the height of the balloon above the ground at the instant when the stone is dropped from it. The initial velocity of the stone is for motion under influence of gravity, same as the velocity of the balloon at that instant, which is directed upwards. The balloon rises to the height h in the first 6 seconds during the upward motion before stone was dropped. It is given that the balloon is moving with constant velocity. So distance with the balloon travels in the first 6 seconds can be written as equal to velocity of the balloon into time interval. So here the stone moves upwards under influence of gravity until velocity becomes 0 at some point B and then again falls onto the ground. So for entire motion under influence of gravity, you can use the equation S equal to ut plus half at square. It is given that the stone takes 8 seconds to reach the ground. So after 8 seconds, you can write S equal to minus h, small t equal to capital T, a equal to minus g. Here capital T is the time of motion of the stone under influence of gravity. So here h can be written as u into 6 seconds. Capital T is the time of motion of stone under influence of gravity, which is given to 8 seconds. G equal to 10 meter per second square. T equal to 8 seconds. So you get numerical value of 4. This will be u, solve for u here. U into 6 plus 8, 14 seconds will be equal to 320 meter. That means the stone strike the ground 14 seconds after the balloon started from the ground, 6 plus 8. So you are asked to find the height of the balloon above the ground at the instant when the stone strikes the ground. So this is the velocity of the balloon, 320 by 14 meter per second. That means you have to find the height to which the balloon moves in the first 8 seconds, that is 6 plus 8. U into 14 seconds. That comes out to be 320 meters. So answer is 320 meters. If you want to copy the solution, you can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. You can see the next question, question number 56. Two balls are projected simultaneously with the same speed from the top of a tower, one vertically upwards and other vertically downwards. They reach the ground in 6 seconds and 2 seconds. The height of the tower is. This problem comes under the same procedure as the question number 52, which I have discussed earlier with explanation. So in general, if two bodies are projected simultaneously from the top of a tower with the same initial speed u, one vertically upwards and other vertically downwards, and if t1 is the time taken by the first body to reach the ground which is vertically projected upwards, and t2 is the time taken by the second body to reach the ground, then the second body is projected with same initial speed from top of tower in the downward direction. Then height of the tower is given by h equal to half gt1 t2. So you can substitute g equal 10 meter per second square and t1 equal 6 seconds, t2 equal 2 seconds. So you get the answer as 60 meter. So for subjective type of examination, you should not follow this result directly. You have to follow the method which I have discussed in 52, as it is same procedure to be repeated for 56 also, in case if it is we are given similar question board examination. So I have discussed question number 56, for which you get the answer as 60 meters, that is second option. Then you see the question number 57. A rocket is fired vertically from the ground with a resultant acceleration of 10 meters per second square. If its fuel is exhausted in 60 seconds, find the total time taken by the rocket to fall on the ground. Assume g equal 10 meters per second square. Let us suppose the rocket starts from the point A with a resultant acceleration of 10 meters per second square. But assume that the rocket starts from rest from the ground. So that means the rocket first moves under influence of the upthrust. As we discuss later in Newton's laws, as we might have studied in Newton's laws in school level also, that rocket moves upward due to the reaction force exerted by the leaving gases. That means the gases ejected by the rocket in the vertical downward direction apply a reaction force on the rocket in the vertical upward direction, due to which the rocket moves upward with acceleration until fuel is finished. Let us suppose the rocket moves from A to B in first 60 seconds before the fuel is finished with uniform acceleration of 10 meters per second square. Let S1 be the distance covered by the rocket in the first 60 seconds before the fuel is finished. After fuel is finished, it begins to move with retardation. Let us suppose the rocket moves from B to C under influence of gravity with retardation. Let V1 be the velocity at V. Let S2 be the distance covered during the retarded motion under influence of gravity. So let capital H denote the maximum height reached by the rocket from above the starting point. So total time taken by the rocket to fall onto the ground after firing is equal to first 60 seconds taken from A to B plus time of motion under influence of gravity from B to C, that you can write V1 by G using the formula for time of ascent U by G. Then time taken to fall freely under gravity from C to A is root of 2H by G. Here capital H is the maximum height reached by the rocket above the starting point. So for upward motion from A to B, so it moves with constant acceleration starting from rest using the formula S equal to half AT square. The T1 denotes the time of motion from A to B, which is given to be 60 seconds. The acceleration is 10 meters per second square. So that will be 18,000 meters or 18 kilometers. So velocity at B, if the body starts from rest and moves with constant acceleration, then velocity of time t is going to be equal to 80. A 10 meters per second square, T1 is 60 seconds. So velocity at B will be 60 meters per second. 10 into 60 or 600 meters per second. So that will be the initial velocity for motion under gravity from B to C. So for motion from B to C in the upward direction moves under influence of gravity, similar to the body projected vertically upwards. So time taken from B to C I denoted by T2 is equal to V1 by G. The body is given initial velocity U vertically upwards such that it moves under influence of gravity. Then time of ascent U by G. Using that formula, that is V1 by that is 600 by 10 or 60 seconds. S2 is the maximum height reached above the point B using the formula for maximum height U square by 2G. S2 equal to V1 square by 2G, that is 600 meter per second whole square by G 10 meter per second. That comes out, if simplify, 18 kilometers. So maximum height reached above the initial point is S1 plus S2. That comes out to 18 plus 18, 36 kilometers or 36,000 meters. So time of fall free fall from C to B. So denoted by T3. That is root of 2h by g. You can take h equal to 36 kilometer means 36,000 meters and g equal to 10 meter per second square. Simplify it yourself. So total time after which the rocket falls onto the ground is T1 plus T2 plus T3. You can simplify yourself and complete the calculation yourself. So you want to copy the solution of this problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of this problem.